biological response in the body to broccoli sprouts is actually heat shock protein. And that is what makes them, there's a peer-reviewed published paper by Dr. Jed Fahey, and his paper on autism shows that the broccoli sprouts trigger the heat shock proteins, which lessen the symptoms of autism, right? So that's in a very specific neurological case, but you could easily transfer that into the case of what we're looking for, the hacking of the body for that, and it translates. So what I'm doing is I'm connecting the dots on these disparate points to pull them all together as part of my sprout thesis. And normally when you buy those organic greens in the store for your salads, you may be spending $1 to $2 per ounce, right? When you're growing your own sprouts, you could be spending $1 or $2 per pound. So you're getting 10x the volume of nutrition through doing a little of the work on your own.
So that leads me to one thought I had. I can buy sprouts all the time now at my grocery store. My guess, like all other vegetables, the longer it sits there, the less nutrient value it's going to have. So are we better off just growing it at home? I know growing it like in the jar, like you talk about and your book talks about, makes more economical sense. But in my busy rushing woman lifestyle, if I just grab some from the store, is that going to have the same nutritional punch as if I grow it in a jar?
All depends where you live, right? And who the supplier is. Today, right, on January 11th, 2023, there are no national sprout growers, right? So everything is local or regional. If you live in a city and you're in San Jose, there's a health food store there and they're being grown locally. They're doing small batches and you go, they're super nutritious and super good. And actually, they're still growing. Even in the refrigerator, they're still growing. So you want to check the expiration date, the grow date, and the sprouts should not smell and they shouldn't be slimy. So if they are crispy crunch, the bright whites like your eyes are all clear, then they're good and it's valuable. I eat packaged sprouts when I travel frequently. It's the first thing I do. I got this from my buddy, Mike Posner. When I go to a hotel now, I'll call the hotel in advance and say, empty the mini bar. Take out the candy, take out the alcohol, take out the soda. I want an empty refrigerator. And then I go on to Instacart, to Whole Foods, and I have them deliver, my sprouts, the greens, some lemon, tahini. So I'm set up for success when I travel. So shout out to Posner, for coming up with that idea. But that's what I do. So I love packaged sprouts, and it's all a matter of if you can afford, a little pack of sprouts is $3 to $5 in the health food store. If you grow them on your own, it's 30 cents, but you have to grow them. So it takes a little time. If you want instant gratification, you go to a furniture store, they deliver the furniture. You want to have some sweat in the game, Swedish design and engineering, you go to IKEA and you put it together yourself.
So in your book, do you talk about how we grow it? Do you give us instructions on how we can grow?
I wrote the sprout book because I had no clue of what I was doing. So I kept my captain's logs of all of my activity, and turns out you grow chia and flax differently than you grow lentils and mung beans, which is different than alfalfa and broccoli and clover. So there was a variety. So I kept all my logs. Then I did as much research as I could, going deep on why to sprout, how to sprout, what are the nutritional benefits and different characteristics of sprouts. Like chia and flax contain the highest amount of plant-based ALA, medium chain omega-3 fatty acid, can convert ALA into EPA and DHA. If you're eating it on a regular basis, you will get more than enough ALA to get that. If you just want to cheat a little and boost it, just adding seaweed or plant-based algae, which has the EPA and DHA in it, which is my most frequent recipe that I post, is a nori wrap, because the nori has the EPA, DHA, omega-3s. So that's an important part to share.
Okay, what do you say if, where my brain goes with everything you just said is, okay, that works great if you have good, healthy gut. What if I've been on multiple rounds of antibiotics, decades of birth control, my microbiome is a hot mess? mess. Am I going to be able to use sprouts? We know they're prebiotic. We know that they've got all these nutrients. But if my gut is so decimated and so depleted, am I going to still pull those nutrients out? Or is this one of those things that if we do it over time, we're going to start to rebuild the microbiome, and eventually you're getting more and more nutrient absorption as the microbiome changes?
Well, I think, you know the answer to that. You do your fasting, all different kinds of fasting, and you start to clean up your microbiome. And then from the source of nutrition, you want to have soluble and insoluble fiber that's super nutrient that has the phytonutrients. So if you have a crappy microbiome, right, and you eat sprouts, the consequence will be some bloating, some flatulation, because this is potent medicine and you're eating it. If you chew it well, right, and you stare at literally the same way that if a mother is staring at the baby, it starts to lactate, right? It starts to generate the breast milk. For us, we live in a fast food culture where we're operating too fast. So if we stop and we stare at the food that we're going to eat, we're staring at the sprouts, we will begin to salivate like Pavlov's dog. And so the digestion begins with the eyes, translates into the saliva, and then the body is starting to form the digestive energy, flora, enzymes, acids to help break it down. But if you just take someone, you force feed them some sprouts, it's not going to work as much. So you could do one of two things. You could start having a sprout salad. You could add some lemon as an acidulant to help break it down and make it available. You can add healthy fats like olives to it. I'm more of a proponent of whole fats. Like I'll buy old coconut, and I'll eat the coconut for a fat. I'll eat avocados for a fat. I will eat olives for fats. So I won't do oils because I think you're stripping away the phytonutrients and the fiber, but I want the fat. So I love high quality fats in their whole form.